Hello, welcome. We're so happy to be here today at the Stone Chalet. We went to Vox3Machina's Duo, representative of Randy Hawes and Catherine Goodson. We want to thank the National Endowment for the Arts and the Stone Chalet and their owners, and also the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs. We have a program today for you of bass trombone and piano repertoire, mixed in with some art songs and some transcriptions, which we hope you will enjoy very much. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome you also. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Special shout out to my family in Holland, Michigan. And that was the first movement to the David Gillingham Sonata for bass trombone and piano. It was originally commissioned by Curtis Olson back in 1985. And it's since then worked its way with all purpose into the repertoire of bass trombonists everywhere. It's a wonderful piece. And instead of playing the whole sonata, we're going to make up our own sonata, which is the second movement is a beautiful piece written for us by Greg Turner, a friend of mine, and it's called Nocturne. Thank you. Well, that's the Nocturne by Greg Turner. And the third movement of our sonata is the first movement of a piece that was written for us by David Biedenbender. David is currently a professor of composition and theory at Michigan State University. And he wrote this for us in 2012 while he was working on his doctorate at University of Michigan. And he's always been a big fan of the architecture of Frank Gehry and of Gehry of Walt Disney Concert Hall and the Bilbao, Spain Museum, and just beautiful flowing metallic structures that are so distinctive. And liquid architecture is a name that someone coined for his type of architecture, and David imagined molten drops of liquid during this piece in different formations. So I hope you enjoy liquid architecture.
This is the first movement of that piece, which is called Hard. The second movement is called Smooth, which you won't hear today, but you can find it on our album Barn Burner. was our composite sonata made up of the Gillingham Sonata first movement for bass trombone and piano, followed by a Nocturne by Greg Turner, and David Biedenbender's first movement of his sonata for bass trombone and piano, Liquid Architecture. We're now going to move to art song, and this is actually how I met Randy Hawes, or Randy Hawes met me 22 years ago, 1998. Paul Ekus was his friend, is still his friend, our friend, and he reached out to him and said, do you know a pianist who plays songs? And Paul knew me because of his wife and all of that. And anyway, he wanted to record some songs. And we've made a lot of recordings of songs and have studied songs. And this group that we're going to do, also 3 pieces, is African American art song repertoire by Charles Brown, the first piece, a University of Michigan graduate, vocalese, so no text. It was commissioned by Willis Patterson and is included in his anthology of African American art song. And then we will follow it with Night by Florence Price, a poem by Louise Wallace, and then Song to the Dark Virgin by Langston Hughes. Florence Price wrote the music and Langston Hughes wrote the text. And Night simply says, night comes, a Madonna clad in velvet blue, rose-lipped her mouth, and the stars are coming down. It's all atmosphere. And Song to the Dark Virgin is, if I were a flame, if I were a garment, I would wrap myself around you, thou dark one. We hope you look up those poems and that you enjoy these 3 African American art songs.
So before we keep going, we've got a comment from Jim saying hi to Randy. Jim Roach from Kalamazoo saying hello and saying that Dorothy Giovanni, who taught art at Highland, is here in our house this afternoon in Washington too.
Oh, nice.
They're
Hi, Jim.
Enjoying hearing you play.
Thank you.
Hi, Jim. Oh, this first one, Song Without Words by Charles Brown, was written based on the singing of blind Willie Johnson. And if you don't know who that is, look him up. An incredible story, a voice, and a musical personality, a guitarist as well. Vocalese by Charles Brown. you're just tuning in, that was Vocalese by Charles Brown, African American art song. And this next one is also an African American art song. Florence Price wrote this to the poem of Louise Wallace. We'll be doing two songs. Song to the Dark Virgin will follow this one, Night. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We have done so far a composite sonata, composers Gillingham, Turner, and Biedenbender, and 3 African American art songs, composers Charles Brown and Florence Price, and now we're returning to low brass repertoire.
Alexei Lebedev is popular in the tuba and trombone world for writing some memorable concertos and very melodic, writing very romantic. And these are 3 pieces. These are, it's called 3 light pieces for tuba originally. And the first one is Fairy Tale, the second one is Lullaby, and then Gavat. So I hope you enjoy this, for me, a newly discovered Lebedev piece.
some of my family and my friends maybe in Bethesda, Maryland are listening also, and my dear friend Lois, and hello everyone. We have been playing bass trombone and piano repertoire and art songs, and that was a transcription of tuba and piano repertoire by Alexei Lebedev. And Randy and I have a CD, our very first recording. It's called Melodrama, and you can find it on all digital platforms. And on that, you will find the 3 giant concertos or concerti of Lebedev for tuba or bass trombone and an orchestral reduction. So we're happy to find these smaller pieces. We will be continuing some more transcriptions and bass trombone and piano repertoire and some more pieces dedicated to us. And for now, we have a special message.
The next piece will be a transcription of a well-known violin piece, Meditation from Tais. And I'm dedicating this to my mother, her name, Margaret French Hawes, who passed away 1 year ago, May 1st. And she was a violinist, she was a music lover, and she and my dad are probably responsible for my love of music and instilling that in me. And so this is for her.
to everyone who's watching and listening. And we are Randy Hawes and Catherine Goodson, presented by the Great Lakes Performing Artists Associates. And we are part of the trio Vox3Machina, and we're very pleased to be here at the Stone Chalet today. And we are thankful to the Stone Chalet for sponsoring this concert, as well as the National Endowment for the Arts and the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs. We've been playing bass trombone and piano repertoire, and African American art songs, and transcriptions. And now
we'd like to play a piece called 3 Cups of Life. It was written by Tom Dawsett. He's written many pieces for bass trombone, and all have just great challenges and a nice character to them. So I hope you enjoy 3 Cups of Life: a hurried life, a serene life, and a frenetic life.
3 Cups of Life by Tom Dossett. Hurried life, serene life, and a frenetic life. I always think that one sounds kind of laid back though. We're now going to move into our very last 2 pieces. The first one was written for me and my husband, and the second one Randy will tell you about. Lullaby is for Helena Noel, and she was our daughter, my husband and I, not 20 years ago, it was 2002. And she lived for 3.5 months, and of course it was very, very sad and when she died. However, at the celebration of her life, all these people came, and my husband was mayor at the time, and it was very public, and there was no social media, believe it or not, but it was very heartfelt, all the tributes that poured out. And one of them came from Ellen Rowe, professor of jazz studies and chair of the jazz conducting program at University of Michigan, and a composer, wonderful pianist. And she showed up at our house in July, unannounced, in her jogging clothes. She runs marathons and climbs mountains, and she presented me with a manuscript. And in fact, she came in and played it for me, and it was called Lullaby, for a solo piano. And of course, it sat in a shelf in a drawer for a long time. It was very emotional, I think, for her as well. But it's such a beautiful piece, Lullaby. And I played it most recently and publicly, I think, when Kay Castaldo died at the University of Michigan, a wonderful opera director. And then people heard me play it and started wanting to play it with me. And so Randy and I are going to play for you together our own little arrangement, which we hope to get published with Ellen Rowe, of her Lullaby for Helena Noel.
Thank you. We'd like to thank again the owners of the Stone Chalet, Lana Hawkins and Mike Stoltis, and the Great Lakes Performing Artists Association, and Michigan Council for the Arts and Cultural Affairs, and of course the National Endowment for the Arts. So thanks for tuning in today and hearing kind of a sampling of what Catherine and I have been doing the last 23 years or so, and there's more to come. So we have one more piece to play. This is None But the Lonely Heart by Tchaikovsky, and it's a beautiful, beautiful song, and probably his most well-known song. So I'd like to dedicate this to all the families that have lost loved ones in the last year or so, and here's hoping for a better future and full of great music. And I hope to see so many of you in person. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.